It is quite often that mere ordinary people like John and myself do live in such a run-down place as this. A small apartment on the edge of town, and it's very cheap and run down. I expressed this to John, but he only laughs at me, of course, as one expects in a relationship. John is practical in the extreme, a hard-working, honest man. However, he has no patience for nonsense, and openly scoffs at anything I say and doesn't even trust me. Maybe this is why I don't feel well. Of course, I would not say anything to anyone, but this is nothing but dead paper and a great relief to my mind. So I stay here in this little apartment because he absolutely forbids me to leave the house. I have no one to confide in but this dead paper. That is also exhausting, for I have to be sly about it, for I fear that I may enrage John. But enough of that, for now I shall describe the apartment. It's a quaint little place, but must have been an extravagant building in its time. There are dead hedges and gates with little locks all around. There is even a greenhouse, although now all broken by vandals. However, there must have been legal trouble with the original owners, and the place has been empty for years. I would have much preferred one of the apartments with a balcony, but John would not hear of it, and choosing a room with bars on the windows instead, saying that's all I need, to flaunt myself to other men. He gets so jealous sometimes, and it makes me so terribly angry, but I never tell him that. The room we sleep in must have been a little boy's room, for they did a terrible thing with the wallpaper, ripping it here and there, and I never saw such awful paper in my life. It's one of those sprawling, flamboyant patterns, committing in every artistic sin. It is dull enough to confuse the eye in following, pronounced enough to constantly irritate and provoke study. And when you follow the lame, uncertain curves for a little distance, they suddenly commit suicide, plunge off at outrageous angles, destroy themselves in unheard-of contradictions. The color is repellent, almost revolting, a smouldering, unclean yellow, strangely faded by the slow-turning sunlight. No wonder the child hated it so much. Here comes John. I hear him on the stairs, and I must hide this, for he might get suspicious.
What is this? I get home and there's no dinner? Oh.
I didn't have time.
Yeah, right, you had the name was cheating.
Oh, I wasn't cheating.
Yeah, right.
I wish he would trust me. This paper, it seems to look at me as if it knew what a horrible influence it had upon me. I get positively angry with it, and its never-ending stupid pattern. Up and down and sideways, they crawl, and those absurd, unblinking eyes are everywhere. Oh, how I hate it. This wallpaper has a kind of pattern within a pattern, a different shade, a particularly irritating one, for you can only see it in certain lights, and not clearly then. But in the places where it isn't faded, and where the sun is just so, I can see a strange, provoking, formless sort of figure that seems to stalk about behind that silly and horrible front design. It is like a woman stooping down and creeping about behind the pattern. I don't like it a bit. I wish John would decide to move to another apartment, but he just ignores my pleas. I didn't realize for a long time what the thing was that showed behind, that dim sub-pattern. But now I'm quite sure it is a woman that wants out. I see her creeping in the shadows. I wish I could be more like them, more free.
What, you're not happy with my brother?
Oh, that Jenny. Nothing but a stuck-up little witch. She will do nothing with her life except to spy on me. No wonder John doesn't believe me with his sister always feeding him misconceptions. However, I'm getting really fond of the room in spite of the wallpaper. Perhaps because of the wallpaper. It dwells in my mind so. I lie here on this great immovable bed. It is nailed down, I believe. and I follow that pattern about by the hour. It is as good as gymnastics, I assure you. I start, we'll say, at the bottom, down in the corner over there where it has not been touched, and I determine for the 1000th time that I will follow that pointless pattern to some sort of conclusion.
So what, if you're not happy? Huh? But he cheats and finds someone new? Listen to me! Look at the pattern. No, listen to this! That's right.
It was moonlight. The moon shines in all around just as the sun does. I hate to see it sometimes. It creeps so slowly, and always comes in by one window or another. John was asleep, and I hated to wake him, so I kept still and watched the moonlight on that undulating wallpaper till I felt creepy. The faint figure behind seemed to shake the pattern, just as if she wanted to get out. I got up softly and went to feel and see if the paper did move, and when I came back, John was awake.
Girl, what are you doing? Get back in bed.
John, I want to go back to the city. I don't like it here.
So you can frolic around like the little hoe that you is? No.
I got back in bed, and John quickly fell back asleep. I could not, knowing that the woman was somewhere still there in the wall, desperately wanting out. Today I am all by myself, with no fear that John or Jenny will walk in on me, for John is at work and Jenny went to the grocery store. However, I will lock the door and throw the key out the window. The fact is, I am getting rather afraid of them. They have this odd, unexplainable look in their eyes every time they come into the room and look at the wallpaper. They want to know its secret. They will not find it before me. It is the strangest yellow, that wallpaper. It makes me think of all the yellow things I ever saw. Not beautiful ones like buttercups, but odd, foul, bad yellow things. The ugly, strangling pattern that the woman is trapped behind. I will find a way to get her out. As soon as the first beams of moonlight entered the room, the woman began to creep around the room again and again and shake the pattern. I ran to help her. She shook and I pulled, she pulled and I shook, and before too long we had torn off the paper. I am getting angry enough to do something desperate. To jump out of the window would be admirable exercise, but the bars are too strong to even try. Besides, I wouldn't do it. Of course not. I know well enough that a step like that is improper and might be misconstrued. I don't like to look out of the windows even. There are so many of those old creeping women. And they creep so fast. I wonder if they all come out of that wallpaper as I did. I suppose I shall have to get back behind the pattern when it comes night, and that is hard. It is so pleasant to be out in this great room and creep around as I please. I don't want to go if Jenny asks me to. For outside you have to creep on the ground, and everything is green instead of yellow. But here I can creep smoothly on the floor. Why, there's John on the stairs. It's no use, though. You can't open the door.
Let me in!
I can't. I seem to have dropped the key out the window by accident.
You think I did it? What are you doing up in here? Ripping all the walls up and stuff.
I get out to spite of you, Jenny and James.
What?